Okay, we're here in the 1987 Wanderlodge PT38 Detroit diesel. I like to run the engine about once a week, so I come up here and start her up. I was going to give you a little tour of the driver's compartment controls. So I guess I'll start down here. The controls for the jacks, the leveling system. Let me slide out of the way here. Driver's seat controls. Remember to lock your seat position before you start driving. This one has an Allison 4-speed electric automatic. It is probably the only thing in the truck that has an onboard diagnostic. This is your transmission test. I've never used it. Your transmission retarder will slow your truck down using the transmission as a brake. You engage that and it will start anytime you step on the brake pedal, or you can take this lever here and spin it down a little bit. Sorry, it's a shaky camera. Throw that down to provide more drag. Obviously, don't step on the accelerator while you're operating that thing. You're just working against yourself. When you're operating that thing, you want to keep an eye on the transmission oil temperature and the transmission retarder temperature itself. I've had this thing up to 270 degrees, not even in very big hills. Your basic lights, parking and driving. There's a control here, which I would think would be the brightness of the dashboard, but there's also a blanked out one here, so should be the dashboard, and there's also another one up here. Since the dashboard lights in this particular truck don't work, I don't know which one of those does what. You got a cruise control, never used it. Your marker lights, those are the top corners of the truck. The reason it's in the driver's panel is you can flash your lights to say thank you to a fellow Wanderlodge that's let you pass. Driving lights are two lights under the front bumper that deploy and wash out the whole road. Kind of nifty. Rear landing lights, front landing lights are the lights on the side of the bus that are kind of backwards pointing this way or forwards pointing that way to help you park. The rear parking lights are two big white lights that aren't the reverse lights that are on the back of the truck. Compartment light master, every little compartment on the outside of the truck has a little courtesy lamp in it. You can turn those on and off. Your heated mirrors, your defroster, driver's control. You can heat up your LPG tank if that turns you on. Speedo, tack. My tack is reading high. I've either got 3,900 hours or 1,300 hours. 63,000 miles, or is it 363,000? We don't know. So your engine gauges been running for a while, so they're all up. DC volts doesn't work on this truck. Looks like that meter's been replaced. Didn't fix the problem. Amps does work. We're just not drawing that very many amps right now. When you start the truck, it pins itself to 300. I've had a current clamp meter on the truck starting it, and it pinned it at 400, which is as much as that meter would read. Tag axle pressure, the rearmost axle is a tag axle, it just bears weight. It usually runs at about 60. Main suspension pressure, that would be the steering and drive axles. It usually runs between 120 and sometimes down to 90. Fuel, I'll get a low fuel warning after I go below a quarter tank. Not sure what AT does. Burglar alarm, definitely have a burglar alarm on the truck. Auxiliary battery, I think, was to link the start batteries to the house batteries to help start the truck. This truck has a solar installation that takes care of that. fan override. The hydraulically driven engine cooling fan has 2 speeds. If it starts to heat up, or if you're idling for a long time, you can turn that on. Suspension dump for when you park. You deploy your jacks, take the air out of your airbags. Tag axle dump, you can dump the tag axle if you're maneuvering in a tight spot and you don't want to drag your tag axle around behind you. High idle. Obviously I'm not doing 1500 RPMs right now, so there's something wrong with my tag. Did I say that already? But I will jump. So you want to build up air pressure when you first start up to get your suspension up. You can hit that. Backup alarm, never used it. If they can't see you coming, it's their problem. A horn selector. Right now we're in electric. We can switch to air. Alternately, down here underneath this motorcycle foot peg is another button that will control the air horn no matter what this selector is set in. Auxiliary step is a step outside the main door, hazard lights, and another horn. This one's a musical horn. Comes with a book. There's a lot of different songs you can play. That's not even the deluxe model. And then you got your lighter, security locks. There are a number of things marked accessory on here that I just don't know what they do. They're just extra. Left vent and right vent are 2 little flaps on the fascia of the truck that fold out, let some fresh air in. And a nice 1990s vintage stereo. Your CB, that thing still works. And that's pretty much it for that drive, except the lights are off here, but maybe we can get this. Yeah. These 2 huge wiring diagrams are just for that dashboard. The funky thing about them is that they're drawn in isometric perspective. I have never seen that on a wiring diagram at all. So obviously there are a lot more controls up here. Generator, power, altimeter, fuel, filter, another switch marked accessory, television antenna, folds up from the top of the truck. You can start and stop your generator, turn on and off your CO2. You got a trip meter, you can hold it so it stops, zero it. This LED is not working, so it's kind of useless. It is 10:26 in the morning right now. You got air conditioner, camera defog. Don't have that camera anymore. The aforementioned dash dimmer, winter summer heat, auxiliary pump. Who knows? Oh, and there's another control up here. Control your inverter, listen to your stereo, turn on your light, turn on all 3 of your air conditioners. This is for the backup camera, which used to be a cathode ray tube, but is now just a little flat screen we got off Amazon. Yeah. Plenty of stuff.